Today's video, I would like to talk about a useful utility named SPMS for each DB. So this utility is undocumented. So it's an undocumented store procedure provided by Microsoft in SQL Server. And what you can do is you can use this to execute a transact SQL command or a set of commands against all the user databases on a particular SQL Server instance. So this tool becomes more useful with the more databases that you have installed on a server. So if you've got a server with just one database, it might not be as useful. But if you've got a SQL Server instance with 20, 30, 40 databases on it, this tool can be very useful for you. And what it does is it just iterates through all of the databases and then executes the provided script. And it can be very useful for performing administrative tasks or running maintenance scripts across multiple databases. And you don't have to write any explicit code to do this iteration. It's all part of the store procedure. And again, it's undocumented and it's not officially supported by Microsoft. However, it's very widely used in the SQL Server community. So our sample usage here involves, we've got a SQL Server instance. It's got several databases on it. And the more databases you have, the more of a chore it is to search through them all. Let's say we're trying to find a table. That's the example that I'm about to show you. A table, but we don't know what database it's in. So this SPMS for each DB will cycle through all the databases and run a query basically and tell you where things are. And you could use this procedure for all kinds of tasks. Anything that you need to iterate through all the user databases on a server is a good candidate for using this store procedure. The first example I wanted to show you. So as you can see, we're calling the store procedure SPMS for each DB, and then we're going to enclose everything in quotes, quotation marks. So you've got this begin quote here. And then you'll notice that normally you're going to have the very first statement within the string to be your use statement, and that's going to set the database context. So if I happen to have 10 databases on a SQL Server instance, it's going to cycle through here and loop 10 times, each time setting that database context to whatever database is the current one in the cursor that's being iterated on. And then here, in this case, I'm looking for a particular table. So I'm looking for a table named dim currency. And so all I'm doing is I've got an if statement, and I'm looking for any cases where in systables, which is local to each database. So that's why you have to cycle through. And I'm looking for a table with the name dim currency. Now you'll notice here that I've got a double set of quotes. That is because I'm already within a string, and so it needs to be escaped. And that's the way you escape a quotation mark within a set of quotation marks. So you'll see the double quotation marks here. And then after that, we're just going in and we're going to select the table name, the schema name, and then the database name. Again, we've got that question mark that is basically a token for that database name. And then we're going to say from, and then we've got, again, the question mark. So it's going to designate the database we are working with, sys.tables, and then joins on the schema because we want to get the schema as well. And again, we've got where the name of the table is dim currency in those double quotes. And then we have to terminate our statement with another apostrophe at the end. So another quote mark at the end of the string. And so when that runs, you would see it go through each one of the databases, and you would see the output whenever, since it's got an if statement, it would only show output when it actually finds something in that particular database. So here's another example. And all I'm doing here is I'm trying to capture the size of a data file, of all the data files for all databases. And let's say I'm running something on a daily basis. So I'm cycling through all the databases and I'm doing an insert into a table, into this table named DV file size time series. And I've got like the capture date, the database name, the file ID, and then the size of the file in megabytes. And then I just pass in my SQL statement. So I've got capture date. I'm just pulling the date, the get date. Database name equals, again, here's our token for the database, I'm getting the file ID and then getting that file size. I'm just going to store this on a daily basis. So something like this is you could just create a job, runs on a daily basis, wakes up at midnight, and it just runs and gets all the database files that are in your SQL Server instance and gets their related size. And so this would allow you to do things like capacity planning. Just capturing this information on a daily basis and storing it into a table. So great example of how to use SPMS for each DB. Well, let's just take a look inside Management Studio. I've got a real simple example here. And all I'm going to do is print out the database names. So I'm going to call our SPMS for each DB. Again, set that database context, and then I'm going to print out the name of the database, and there's our question mark token. All I got to do is run this, and it's going to cycle through and show us all the databases that are on the server. And as you can see in the navigation pane here, you're seeing all these databases that exist on this SQL Server instance. That's it for this video on SPMS for each DB. I hope you guys learned something. If you did, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment below, add your questions below, and if you can, share the video with others so we can spread the channel and get more people involved. Talk to you later. Bye.